Okay, welcome back to the channel. Bienvenue for mes amis françaises. Last video I did was on using IL2 and OpenXR to create a larger worldview setting to make the cockpit look better. It's one of the things you can do in OpenXR toolkit is address the world scale. If you increase it a little bit, some people say, like a couple of my viewers, that it makes the game more immersive, makes the cockpit look larger and more realistic. I was hoping it would make the other airplanes look bigger too, but I can't, because the bigger they are, the easier they are to see from my old eyeballs. But anyway, I can't say that it did that, but I did want to show you some of the things that I couldn't show you while I was making the video, because when I'm using the OpenXR toolkit, it'll show up in the headset but not on the flat screen where things are recorded. So I took some pictures of my settings just to show you where it's at. These are the three programs that I use to run IL2 and OpenXR. The Pimax XR runtime, which you need to run OpenXR in Flight Sim 2020 and in DCS2, the beta version. It works by itself in those programs. But for IL2, you also need to use OpenComposite. Now, I think you might be able to use OpenComposite without Pimax XR runtime, but only for IL2. IL2 definitely needs OpenComposite. And then I use the OpenXR toolkit to set my graphics settings. The center screen, of course, is the Pimax client. That's the other thing you need to run if you want to play on the Pimax Crystal or a Pimax 8KX or any other Pimax headset. And you can see I've got my IPD set to 58. You can adjust it from 58 to 72, I think, which is nice, and it adjusts very easily. You can also, if that's not good enough, you can do some mucking about with the horizontal and vertical IPD offsets. I haven't needed to. And then we use OpenComposite, and you can see here that it's set to use OpenComposite. This is like the XR runtime. It's kind of a switch that forces Steam to go, oh, okay, I think I'm running OpenVR Steam when you're actually running OpenXR. Think of it as a switch that chooses OpenComposite, OpenXR, or SteamVR. Next picture. Okay, what have we got here? All right, so this is my initial screen in OpenXR under performance. I've got it set for FPS advanced, so that gives me more information, but usually I just run it with a frame counter. And I use upscaling and sharpening. I haven't experimented with these too much. I've kind of just left it on CAS at 95%. Fixed foveated rendering, I should probably set to off. The mode is quality. Turbo mode is on. I find this makes quite a big difference. It works better than reprojection for me in any game in which reprojection works with the OpenXR toolkit. Generally, I think if you're going to use the OpenXR toolkit, you want to avoid reprojection on the Pimax Crystal. And maybe on others too, I don't know. Pimax Crystal is my only area of pseudo expertise. So this is where I'm set. I'm set for quality. I've got turbo mode on. And that's all you need to know about that. And then, let's go to my next one. What have we got here? Is this the one I'm looking for? No, I don't think so. This is the one I want. Right. Under appearance, you can see I've got it set for world scale 165%. This is something that one of my viewers recommended. He said that world scale increase made the cockpit look bigger and more realistic and more immersive. And I did find that to be true. I was hoping it would also make the other airplanes look bigger, because my old eyeballs have trouble spotting them at a distance. But that appeared not to be the case. So I can't, I mean, a lot of it is so subjective. You think, all right, did this work or didn't? And there's always this question in your mind. What do we got here? Appearance. We just looked at that. That's not the one I want. How about this one? Yes, this is the one I want. Okay, let's resize this. View actual size. There we are. Now in the OpenXR toolkit, the fourth menu item is System. And under System, we can override the display that's set in Pimax client or by the game. And you have to choose Override Resolution, and then you can set it here by clicking on this and using, the controls, like Control F1 reduces the value of the resolution, and Control F3 increases it. If you hold the Shift key down, it moves it really fast. Field of view I have set to advanced, but I have no idea what I'm doing with it, so I've pretty much left it alone. Zoom is 1.1x. I don't know what zoom does, but since I'm already increasing world scale, I thought, okay, let's not mess about with that. So there's what we have. We have three things that we need to run OpenXR on IL2. We need the Pimax XR runtime, the Pimax or the composite XR, Open Composite it's called, and also the OpenXR toolkit in order to make these changes. And that's all we need to do. So let's move on to the actual video where I tried to do these things and see how it worked out. Okay, so we are back in the game now, and I have used all the settings that I showed you. World scale has been set up to 165%, and I gotta say, the cockpit really looks great. I mean, it looks amazing. I'm not sure I need to set it to 165%, but it certainly does look good. I haven't tried to do too much more or less with it. I had it set at 130, and I didn't notice a big difference. At 160, I certainly do. All right, let's see how it plays. Okay, I mean, I want to see what this enemy plane looks like close up. It's so subjective. I don't know whether world scale makes them look bigger, but to my mind, and it might be placebo effect, I really feel like the sim is smoother. It's easier to track them. I don't feel like I'm fighting as hard to stay in my position behind him. Little barrel roll, see if I can come up behind him again. There he is. Usually I use a program called Neck Safer to help me look around. So I do have to say that I like this increased world scale quite a bit. I really do. Oh, I'm not leading him enough. All I've got are machine guns in this airplane. I don't have any cannons. And I should see little sparks when the bullets hit him. There they are. Airplanes look pretty good, don't they? I think. I'm always astonished at how good these simulations look in VR, particularly on the Crystal. I mean, we're in winter in the Moscow area, and everything looks just super. Oh, looks like I used all my ammunition. Now you know I'm not really an ace, am I? 79, 80 frames per second, that's pretty good. It doesn't feel quite that smooth right now, but I think it is. I want to go over to Moscow, which I think is north and east of us, and just see if I can find the city and how much that slows the frame rate down. I mean, the cockpit does look bigger to me. I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I can. Yeah, I think I like world scale increased. It certainly doesn't have much of an effect on frame rate. I've got settings kind of balanced in the Pimax client. Well, there's an airport over there. How about I try landing this thing? See if I can get the gear to go down first. Gotta get the airspeed down a bit before I can land. Just kind of cruise around here and see what it looks like. One thing I wish you could do in IL2 is use the mouse. That's in VR. It's so you can't see the keyboard or your extra controls. So it'd be nice to be able to use the mouse to hit switches and stuff. But that's, you know, kind of a minor thing once you figure out what you're doing. I don't know which way the wind is blowing. I guess I don't have trim set on this. I thought I did. Oh, it doesn't really matter. I would like to know why that gear won't come down though. Oh, that's the brake. Oh good, I just shot the engine off. That's what I wanted. Okay, so I've got to change some control settings that I thought I had right. Well, just try and set her down here. There we go. One bouncy. Two bouncy wouncies. Three bouncy wouncies. Well, nothing broken anyway. Boy, the graphics look good. Don't look at the hangers. There's no shimmering. High quality. Everything looks good. Oh, a little too much brake. Okay. All right. In case you're wondering, I totally meant to do that ground loop. Totally. Okay, so let's review. With world scale set at 165 and resolution set down to about 3000 by 3800, we get a great view in the Pimax because so it looks wonderful. It plays great with 78 to 80 frames per second. And I do think immersion improves with world scale setup, so give it a try. And do try OpenXR in IL2. It really does make a difference. You can get close to these frame rates in Steam, but I think you have more adjustability on OpenXR once you learn how to use it. So again, to review, you need the OpenXR runtime from Pimax, you need the OpenXR toolkit to adjust things from Matt V, and you need OpenComposite. Once you've got those three programs running in the background, you're ready to go. It may launch Steam, but once you're up and running, you can actually close the Steam window and still fly. So that's all I have to tell you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful to you, and I hope you'll come back and see me again. Thanks so much. Talk soon.